Good evening.
Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about habits, hobbies, and sports. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so a habit is a settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. It's also defined as a learned behavior that becomes reflexive over time. So if you want to define habit in Odia, you would say habit mane abhyas essentially. Tamku jodi kogote jinsa karera abhyas achi, then that is your habit. So let's look at some examples of habits. There's two types of habits. Di prakarya habit achi, gote hela healthy habits and gote hela unhealthy habits. So first let's talk about healthy habits. Obviously, there's some pictures here to show you examples. Does anybody here know what the girl is doing in this picture, the first picture? Irako habit. Does anybody know?
ସକାଳୁ ଉଠିକି ପାଣି ପିଇବା.
So in the first picture, the girl is drinking water. Se pani piuchi. That's a very healthy habit because drinking water is good for you and good for your health. In the second picture, in the first row, where there is a boy.
Exercise.
Yes, correct. Exercise is another very healthy habit. And the picture next to that, does anyone know?
Bathing.
Bath. Take a
Yeah.
bath.
Yeah, almost. So you can say this is a bath, but you can also say this is a shower because kyunki se log chhida hichi, tale ame normally kahu shower if the person is standing. But jodi samane tub re boschanti, then English ame kahu bath. So here in the picture, the person is showering. And in the picture next to it,
Sleeping.
sleeping. Yes, kyunki samane kuhanti ki besi soile tame besi healthy hapa. So sleeping is a healthy habit. And next to that, the person.
Eat vegetables.
Yeah, eating vegetables, or you can say eating healthy. Say bhalo bhalo khaiba khauchi. So he is eating healthy. Okay, tapare second row of first picture.
Brush.
Yeah, brushing. Brushing is very good for your health. Second picture.
Wash your hand.
Yes, the person is washing their hands. And third one.
Dry the wet clothes.
Yeah, drying the wet clothes. You can also say going outside, doing chores. There are multiple different words. The fourth one.
Studying.
Writing.
Yeah, writing. And the last picture.
Taking the garbage into a dustbin.
Yeah, kind of. They are putting the garbage away, but you will notice that there are 3 boxes. Na tinta dabachi. Gote paper pinky, gote biological waste pinky, tapre gote plastic pinky. Right here. I think this it's a bio kochi, but I think it should say food. But paper, food, plastic, tamane samane recycle bhi karuchanti na. Because that way the paper and the plastic can be recycled. And maybe the food waste can be compost. So samane khali trash phopadunanti, samane recycle or compost bhi karuchanti, which is very good for the environment. So, a slide bisare kichi question achi? Okay. Then next we will go to unhealthy habits. So, does anybody know what the person in the first picture is?
Smoking.
Smoking.
Yes, smoking. As we all know, smoking is not a healthy habit. It's very bad for your lungs. And in the second picture?
Ma'am, he drink the Coca-Cola.
Yeah, he's drinking Coca-Cola, which is very bad for your health also. And the third picture?
She is late for school.
Yeah, running late is an unhealthy habit if you do it repeatedly. So যদি তুমি regularly late হচ্ছে তাহলে that is not a very healthy habit. The next picture.
He is drinking.
Yeah, you're not supposed to drink alcohol regularly or else it becomes an unhealthy habit. The next picture, does anyone know?
Beating nail.
Yeah, he's biting his nails.
Ma'am, he threw the bad things.
Yeah, not exactly. I think this picture is trying to talk about littering. So તમે જેતବେଳେ trash ફોપાડુଛ but તમે trash can રે ફોપાડો ના તમે રાસ્તારે ફોપાડુଛ નાલે બહારે કવાડે ઓટે ફોપાડી દઉଛ. I think they are saying that you should only throw away your trash in the trash can or else you are going to be littering. Okay, what about the picture in the bottom row, the first one?
Waiting for flight.
Yeah, he is getting distracted because here you can see all of the papers are stacked, which means ଏ ଲୋକର ବହୁତ କାମ ଅଛି but ସେ ଖାଲି phone ରେ ଖେଳୁଛନ୍ତି. Okay, what about the next picture?
Using mobile phone and laptops.
Yeah, it's okay to use mobile phones and laptops and cell phones and iPads for a little bit time or when you are studying on them, but to use it all the time is not very healthy. What about the next one?
Sneezing.
Yeah, sneezing or to become sick. It's not necessarily a habit, but it's unhealthy. So you should try to avoid doing things that will make you sick. And what about the very last picture?
Ma'am, she threw her things, her used things, her
Yeah.
useful things.
Yeah, so she's throwing away all of her things and she's not keeping her things clean, right? Her books are all over the place, the papers are on the floor, her clothes and her toys, nothing is organized and everything is messy. So to be messy and not organize your things is an unhealthy habit. You should always make sure everything is neat and clean. So does anybody have any questions about this slide? Okay. So here are some expressions to talk about habits. So if you want to describe your habits, you can use these expressions to start. For example, I spend a lot of time exercising. So mo bahut time pinky exercise kore. Nahale you can also say I'm always exercising, which means mu sabubele exercise kore. Or I can't help washing my hands after I eat. અને મતે ସବୁ time ખાયા ପରେ ଇଚ୍ଛା ହୁଏ ମୋ ହାତ ଧୋଇବା ପାଇଁ କି. So କାହାକୁ try କରିବାର ଅଛି a expression use କରିକି habit describe କରିବା ପାଇଁ କି? Does somebody else want to try? If you want, you can raise your hands and I'll call on you and you can use the expression and then talk about a habit. Sobha, do you want to try?
Hello?
Yes, you can go ahead.
I spend a lot of time drinking water.
Okay, good. And Kiran, do you want to try one?
Hello, ma'am.
I am
Study is a
always
big part of my
exercising.
life.
I am always exercising.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. What about Amlan? Do you want to try one?
You will always find me studying.
I can't help now.
Okay, and Priyanka, do you want to try one?
I spend a lot of time in reading. I am always exercise. I can't help you wash your hand.
Okay, yeah. Only one tip, you should say wash my hand. क्योंकि तमे मो हाथ धोना तमे तमरो निजर हाथ धोछ ना. So जदि तमको तमरो निजर जिनस बिषय कथा हबार अछि, then you should say my. So it would be, I can't help wash my hands. Okay. But other than that, samaste badhiya kahila. And now we have to move on. So tamuko jadi, if you want to talk about changing habits, you have to use the following phrases. You can say give up, and give up means to stop doing something. For example, a habit or a hobby. For example, I'm giving up smoking in 2019. Mane mu smoking chhadi debi 2019 re. Nahale give up or opposite, hela take up. Give up meant to stop doing something. Take up means to start doing something. For example, start doing a hobby. So I would like to take up yoga. Tamane mu ebe yoga kariya start karibi. Tapare ao gote phrase hela get back into, which means to restart a hobby or a regular activity. Tamane tame kona gote jinsa chhadi deithilo, tapare tame ebe ao thare start karibo. So for example, I want to get back into reading. So that means you had given up reading, but now you want to take it up again. Cut down on means reduce your consumption of something. For example, I'm trying to cut down on sugar. Tamane muebe kam sugar khaibi. Cut out means to eliminate something from your diet. So I'm going to cut out chocolate and beer. Tamane mu au chocolate au beer khaivini, not pivini. So did everybody understand these verbs? Does somebody want to try making a sentence with one of them? Okay. So Pat, do you want to try? Or what about Sritanjali?
Can I try?
Oh yeah, you can also try.
Never give up your practice because failure is the pillar of success.
Can you speak a little slowly? Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I doing like to take up jogging.
Yeah, that was good, Sritanjali, except for you would want to say, I would like to take up jogging.
Never
I am
give up.
giving up watching TV in 2020.
Okay, yeah, that was also good. That made a lot of sense.
Never
Kiran, do you
give
want
up
to repeat
your
yours?
practice because failure is the pillar of success.
Can you say it again? Sorry.
Never
Kiran.
give up your practice because failure is the pillar of success.
Okay, yeah, that was a very good and very advanced sentence. Good job. All right. Does anybody have any questions about these phrases? All right. Okay, so used to is similar to when we were learning about to get back into, kind of. Used to essentially talks about habits in the past that are not true now. For example, I used to go out every day when I was younger. So ta mane mu agru e jinsa koruthuli, but ebe mu au koruni. So you can say used to talk about something that you did do in the past, and then to talk about something that you didn't do in the past, but you do now in the present, you would say, I didn't used to. So for example, I didn't used to study very much at school. Tamane mu agru besi patho podu nathuli school re, but ebe mu besi podhuchi. Tapare tamku jodi pachare achi kogote lokoku what they were doing in the past, you can ask, did you used to? For example, did you used to smoke before? So this means tame aguru smoke koruthulo ki. And then for habits in the present, you can use a frequency adverb like usually, because used to is normally only for the past. You can say you usually do something now in the present. For example, you usually do your English homework, or you usually pay attention in class. Tamane tame eta normally kara, but maybe sometimes it's not guaranteed that you always do this thing. For example, I usually do the English homework. Tamane 99% of the time you do the English homework, but maybe that 1% of the time you cannot guarantee that you have been doing the homework. So that's why we say usually instead of always, because always would mean it's 100% guaranteed that you do the homework every time. So does anybody have any questions about these?
Ma'am, can we use would in habit conditions? Would.
Would?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you use would for habits? It depends. Would you can use for many things. It's more of a generic verb that just indicates that something is in past tense. So for example, you can say, I would, in the sense of this is something you want to do. For example, I would exercise. Tamane तुमको exercise करने की इच्छा अच्छी but एबे capability नहीं क्योंकि बोधे तमरा timing issue अच्छी ना करना. नाले you can say I would used to exercise. Tamane mu aguru exercise karuthuli. But using would is little bit advanced. For now, you can just say used to, or I want to do something, but I can't. To use would is sometimes a little bit unnecessary when there are other phrases that you can also use. Does anybody else have questions? Okay. Let's see. These are some idioms, sorry. These are some idioms about habits, which are common phrases that you can say when talking about habits. Some of these are outdated, but you can still Google them. Some of these are more common. For example, get into the habit. Tamane kaade jinsera abhyas kara. For example, sakhale uthiera abhyas kara. Nale patha padera abhyas kara. That is the meaning of get into a habit, which is the most common phrase here. But there are some other phrases here that we don't use as much, but if you want, you can Google them, search them up, because maybe you're interested in them. Okay, so now we're going to talk about things that you do for fun. And these are called hobbies. Those are called hobbies. So here are some pictures of potential hobbies, of things that people are interested in. Does anybody know what the first picture is on the upper left corner?
Photography.
Ma'am, she takes photo.
Yeah, correct. Photography or taking photos. Taking photos essentially means photography. And the second one?
Cutting vegetables.
Kind of. It's not exactly cutting vegetables, but it's planting different flowers or vegetable plants. So you can say this is gardening. Does anyone here know what gardening means? So gardening basically has to do with planting different flower plants or fruit trees or vegetable plants.
Mati kholiwa.
Huh, yes, correct. Then does anybody know what the third word is? Over here, there's a word.
Bonjour.
Yeah,
Good.
bonjour. Does anybody know what bonjour means? It's okay if you don't. Bonjour isn't in English. Bonjour is actually French for hello. So I don't know, this picture could mean many things, but I think if you like traveling can be a hobby. Or if you like learning other languages, That could also be a hobby. Okay, what about this fourth picture of the three?
Dancing.
Dancing is also a very common hobby. What about the next picture?
Painting. Drawing.
Not exactly. I know it looks like painting, but actually se loko silai karuchanti, gote design banauchanti silai kari kari. So in English, we say this is embroidery. क्योंकि दी प्रकार सिलाई थाए ना जदि कौन गोटे छिंडी जाइछि and सेटा को सिलाई करे रछि then in English we say sewing. But तमे जदि सिलाई करी करी कोटे डिजाइन बनाउछ जेमति फुल ना गछ then आमे सेटा को कहू embroidery. ता माने डिजाइन बनेगा by with thread and needle. Okay, and this last picture in the first room, does anybody know what that is?
Burning.
Yeah, candle. Some people, yeah, koko loko ko candle banera shakachi. So that is another hobby. And what about the first picture in the second row?
Cooking.
Yeah, cooking. Cooking is also a very common hobby. The next picture.
Oh,
Huh? I'm not sure. I think this is just another picture of a thread and a needle. So it's just supposed to represent sewing. What about this picture with the person with the blue clothes?
Exercise.
Yeah, the person is doing yoga. I'm not sure. I think it's supposed to be a she. So she's doing yoga. What about the picture of the person at the very bottom?
The child is studying.
Yeah, she's writing. A lot of people are passionate about writing. Maybe they'll write in a diary or a journal, or they'll just write stories. And the next person?
The girl is drawing.
Painting.
Yes, painting. And after that?
Reading.
Reading. And then there's another picture of somebody writing. And then what about these bottom three pictures? What's the
Singing.
first one?
Singing.
Listen music.
Yeah, so the first picture is just a picture of music notes. So it could be singing, it could be listening to music, it could be playing an instrument like the piano. Basically, anything that has to do with music are also very common hobbies. What about the next one? This one is maybe a little bit confusing. In the picture, the person is making a necklace, so the harabano chanti, but I think you can generalize this to making jewelry, or you can say just arts and crafts in general. And what about the last picture?
Cooking.
Yeah, just another picture of cooking. Correct. Okay, so ethi ame bahut sara hobbies ra example delu, but how do you talk about hobbies? So to talk about hobbies, you basically say, I like to, and then you include a verb, where that verb is the hobby. So this means you're talking about things you like to do. And normally when you are talking about hobbies, the person will ask you a question. So jaddi ke ote loko pacharla, what do you like doing in your free time? Or what do you like to do in your free time? Jaddi se tamko a question pacharile, ta mane they want you to answer with what are your hobbies? So they want you to tell them your hobbies. And to tell them your hobbies, you will use the following sentence structure. I like to plus verb, or I like, and then the ing conjugation of the verb. So for example, I like to play basketball, or you can say, I like playing basketball. So let's see. I will ask some of you these questions, like what do you like to do? And then you will have to answer them with your hobby. So who wants to go first? Okay, Kitty,
Yes,
what
ma'am.
do you like to do in your free time?
I like to sing songs in my free times.
Okay, cool. And then Kiran, what do you like to do in your free time?
I like to play music in my free time.
Okay. And then Swetanjali, what do you like doing in your free time? Or Amlan, what do you like doing in your free time?
I like to watch movies in my free time.
Okay, let's go one by one. Swetanjali, can you repeat your answer?
I like to writing.
Okay, yeah. So if you say I like to, then you don't have to say the ing version of the verb. You can just say I like to write. Okay, but otherwise it was really, really good. And then Amlan, can you repeat your answer?
I like to paint.
Okay, yeah, I also like to paint. Okay,
I
and
like to make crafts.
okay, cool. And Ayansh, what do you like to do in your free time?
Ma'am, I like to play in free time.
You like to play what?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Radharani, what do you like to do in your free time?
I like to study.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so over here are more examples of different hobbies that you can talk about in full sentences. So if you want after class, you can look at these. You can look at this slide to get an idea of what other hobbies you can talk about. Okay, we already did that. Okay, so for sports after class, I want you guys to look up these videos on YouTube and just watch them. I think it'll be fun. And you can learn about different kinds of sports. So now, do any of you guys have any favorite sports that you guys want to talk about? Or Pritham, what's your favorite sport?
Football.
Football. Okay. Amlan, what's your favorite sport?
My favorite sport is badminton.
Oh, okay.
My favorite sport is badminton.
Okay, cool. Badminton.
My favorite sport is playing.
Is what? Swadhi, do you want to repeat your answer?
My favorite sport is badminton.
Okay, badminton. Yeah, badminton is very fun.
My favorite sport is badminton.
Okay, I see we have a lot of badminton fans. Does anybody have another favorite sport other than badminton?
My favorite sport is cricket.
Okay, cricket. Yeah. My
cricket.
dad's favorite sport is also cricket.
Cricket.
Cricket. Okay, I think cricket is also popular. What about basketball? Is anyone's favorite sport basketball? No. Basketball is boring. Yeah, go ahead, Ayansh.
Play sometimes basketball.
Okay. And what about baseball? Does anyone like baseball? Okay, I guess we're all football, cricket, and badminton fans. But okay, that was the class for today. I hope you guys learned a lot. And just a reminder to always practice. You guys can revisit these slides through like the YouTube live stream or whatever. And I would just encourage you guys to revisit the slides with the pictures on it. Make sure you know all the different vocabulary. And that way you can practice. I suggest you go to your parents or maybe your friends and you can ask them, oh, what do you like to do? Or what are your hobbies? What are your favorite sports? Or what are some good habits you have? Or what are some bad habits you have? And that way you'll just get a lot of practice speaking English. And then the more you get practice, the more used to English you will get, and the more fluent you'll be, and the more fluent you'll sound. But yeah, other than that, thank you all for coming to class today, and I'll see you all next week.